Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us. I have the pleasure of introducing Jennie Weeks. She is a financial planner and an investment advisor with Springtide Wealth here in Vancouver. Jennie, welcome.
Hi, Katie. Nice to be here.
Yeah.
Nice.
So we've invited you today to talk about this new tongue twister of an account, the new tax-free first home savings account, or FHSA. I can't even.
Correct.
But so, we've seen a lot of people presenting information on what it is, when it is, the nitty gritty. But I want to ask you some questions around the other side of that, such as who's going to be investing in this account, who's it right for, when to use it versus other investment vehicles, and how to invest in it. So let me back up a little bit and ask you just to share a little bit about, who you are beyond those titles with Springtide Wealth, and what you do with your current client portfolio today.
Oh, thanks, Katie. Yeah, so I'm a financial planner, and I manage about 45 families, investments, and create their full plan. My philosophy is that financial planning is a lifelong journey, and my what I do for clients is I build a foundation for them and provide them with the information they need to make conscious financial decisions.
I love it.
And yeah, so that really leads into the FHSA. And all we need is another acronym just to confuse us even more.
Yeah.
Because as a financial planner, my role is to help people invest in accounts that make the most sense for them or for their children.
Yeah. Like, it's easy to find the information around, can I open it? How much can I put into it? How do I take out of it? But, my first thoughts and feelings around it were, well, does someone who's just starting out, say at 18 or 19, invest into this new account or their tax-free savings or an RSP? So that'll be my next question to you is, how do you determine which investment sort of account umbrella this tax-free savings or RRSP is best for the client?
Yeah, so that first and foremost, this is a home savings plan. So the only reason you can take the money out is to buy a house. So if that's one of your savings goals, then this is a really great account to use. It also provides a tax deduction in the year that you make the contribution. So that's the same as an RRSP. It also provides a tax deduction based on the contribution you make. The difference being is that with this one, it's not for retirement. It's simply for buying a home.
Mm-hmm.
And you can do, if I were looking at a client, that's what we would evaluate is what is the purpose for the savings that we're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And this would actually probably be one of the first accounts that I would use for any couple or single person that wanted to buy a future home.
Mm-hmm.
I would maximize this one at $8,000 a year up to $40,000. That's the current limit. And then the secondary one would be your RRSP. I believe now it's up to 30 or 35,000 that you can take out of your 35 that you can take out of your RRSP as well. Mm-hmm. So for example, if you had a couple savings towards a home, over the next 5 years, you could accumulate an $80,000 plus the growth of your investment in this particular product, and then another 70,000, not the growth though, right? Just 35 that you can take out of your RRSP. So that's $150,000 now for a couple. We're finally in the area where they might actually have enough money for a down payment. In Vancouver.
Oh, yeah.
Barely.
Now, of course, you have to have those funds to invest as well. From my experience back at my bank days and in dealing with advisors such as yourself, what we see a lot of people doing is understanding that this is a savings account, i.e., like a bank account or a high interest savings, put your money in and it just grows marginally. But that's not true. what investments are people able to invest in within this specific new account?
Yeah, so it's got the same sort of rules as an RRSP or a TFSA, which means that you can buy stocks, you can buy bonds, you can buy mutual funds, you can buy ETFs, like you might find, or the indexed style funds. So it's really it doesn't have a lot of restrictions. You're not going to be into private equity or anything that you sort of can't find at your local bank or with your local financial planner. But one of the things that I'm really trying to coach a lot of my clients around right now is the benefits of the higher interest rates. So over the last 5 or 6 years, you'd have to take a lot of risk in the markets, and you'd really have to be getting into a dividend paying stock or a growth stock or a growth style fund in order to achieve a rate of return. But today you can actually be purchasing into a bond or a lending style instruments that are achieving anywhere from sort of 4 to 7 or 8%. And I don't like to talk too much about rate of returns, but right now you can actually get like a risk-free 4.75% in a high interest savings account through an investment dealer. So making sure that you're choosing the right investment for the right time horizon is the most important piece.
So just to go back to that, that would be working with an advisor such as yourself, not a high interest savings account that you can open yourself online through the bank.
Yes and no. There's a lot of different things out there. But what you really want to look at is you want to look at what the time horizon is and what the holding penalties might be, or the liquidity factor. So for example, if your plan is to buy a new home in 5 years and you're contributing the $8,000 a year for 5 years, you want to make sure that your risk level is appropriate for that 5-year time horizon. And we always say, really, the stock market, you need a minimum of 5 years, right? And we've all seen that over the last 3 years with the volatility. So finding the right investment for that particular account and your time horizon is most important. And also, do not over contribute. So just because you walk to one institution and they offer you an account and say you can deposit $8,000, and then you walk over to another institution and you see a sign and they say, guess what? You can get 5% in this FHSA. If you over contribute, the penalties are terrible.
I'm just looking, I think it's 1% per month. No, 1% a day calculated monthly.
Yes, it's really high. So be very careful that you don't over contribute.
Yeah. So I think one thing that we should disclose too is that this is only for first-time home buyers. So you have to qualify underneath those rules as being a first-time home buyer to actually even open an account. So I think that's a key consideration here. Now, I've seen a lot of people post about this account, how great it is, the advantages of it. What are the disadvantages of this account, or things that people should be aware of? We just noted one with over contribution, but any other?
Over contributions. And the second piece I would say would be that this has to be used to buy a home. So if you're not sure if that's an important goal for you, then you would want to be instead contributing to your RRSP, where you get the same tax deduction and you can pull $35,000 out of it, or you can leave your money in there and have it be for retirement. Right? So I think those are really the only two downsides to this, is that, and sometimes they change these things in the future, but right now that's how it's looking. So
yeah. Well, that's awesome. Though, I mean, those are the main things that I wanted to ask you about it, unless there's any other conversation around the new account or how to build it in. I know a lot of people who have young children are very eager to get an account open, because you can open one when a child turns 18 and contribute in, or gift them the funds to contribute in. But anything else that you'd say around this?
Well, I'd say exactly that, Katie. I think this is a really great product, this is a really great, it's not a product. This is a really great account for parents to help fund their children's home purchases. Yeah. And the reason why is because it has to be used towards a home. They can't just take the money out. right? You know, so if you're trying to help your kids save, maybe you've got a matching program with them that you say, you know, for every $1,000 you put in, I will match it by 1,000. They're going to get that tax deduction, and similar to an RRSP, they can decide whether they want to use it this year or into a future year when they perhaps are making more income. Right? So if you're not paying a lot of income tax today, you may want to delay using the tax deduction to a future year. You know, whereas with a a TFSA, you don't get a tax deduction, right? So, you know, more than anything, there are so many different kinds of accounts out there right now. And it's understanding which one works for you is why you should be working with a financial planner, because they can help you, you know, figure out which account makes the most sense and align your goals to the right type of investment and type of account that you should be investing in.
I love it. How do people get a hold of you if they are looking to connect with you as a financial advisor? Not just for a single account, but obviously for wealth planning.
Yeah. So, you know, you can go to my website, springtidewealth.com, and you can reach me that way. You can also call Asante Financial Management on Pender Street. That's my dealer and where my office is. Or my phone number, 604-961-5409. And you never know, I might even answer myself.
I know people always give me a hard time when I actually answer. They're like, wow, I got a hold of you. That's awesome. Well, if anyone is looking for more information on this or to transfer their wealth and do some planning with Jennie, please feel free to reach out to her directly or connect with me for a personal introduction. Jennie, thank you again for taking the time to speak with us today and share of your expertise on this new product.
Well, thanks so much, Katie. Pleasure to be here.